Mr. Chairman, to you and to the chairman of the full committee, my deepest appreciation. Having become a chairman of a full committee, I understand the problems of trying to fit everything in, and there are a lot of members who would have put this hearing, let's be honest, pretty low on the totem pole, and in fact it wouldn't have been hard to find an excuse not to have this hearing, and give us the opportunity to meet our responsibility, confront something some people might pretend not to be here. My colleague has given you a very good explanation of this issue, although I have to say you get focused when she said that people express this as having the feeling they are trapped in the wrong body. I was talking to the chairman of the full committee. The phrase having something trapped in the wrong body is how we often feel when our legislation goes to the Senate. We have a lot of legislation trapped in the wrong body. But to get to this issue, and my colleague has laid it out. First of all, we should be very clear. The overwhelming majority of legal interpretation is that gender identity is not covered when you ban sexual orientation. It simply isn't covered. And frankly, nobody who thinks it should be covered uses that argument. I mean, if you think it should be covered, if there's any uncertainty, well, let's put it this way. Whenever members of this body object to something on the grounds that it is redundant, I am skeptical. We are a profession, many of us lawyers, where redundancy is part of our code here in Congress. I mean, using a few extra words is rarely something that we object to. So when people say they don't want it because it's redundant, they mean, I don't want it, but I don't really want to tell you why I don't want it. But in this case, there's no argument for redundancy. Any lawyer will tell you people are excluded. The next argument is, well, it can be disruptive. I mean, these are for people who say there should be equality. And I appreciated the gentleman from Minnesota stating a principle that I think we all agree with, that people should not be denied a chance to earn a living because of some essential element of their personality that's really relevant directly to them and causes no harm to anyone else. So the argument, though, is sometimes it can be disruptive. I filed a gay rights bill in 1972, unlike my colleague, who was both younger and had the chance being from Wisconsin, and she said because of that law, she didn't have to face this choice of living without full honesty. Well, I did, and I made the wrong choice for a while and behaved irresponsibly because of it. I was ultimately able to get freed from it. And let me just say at this point, what I hope will be relevant as people get to know people in the transgender community and as we make progress here, I recognize when I first got involved in politics, if I was honest about who I was, I would have made some people nervous. But they got used to me. I just want to reassure people here, you're going to get used to them. I understand this is new, and we're human beings, and new and different sometimes make us nervous. But, you know, look, Tammy Baldwin and I, early on in our careers, given the nature of prejudice, frankly, in this society, we were seen as exceptions. People were nice to us, but we were exceptions. We were the good ones. Well, we didn't want to be exceptions. And now I think we are not exceptions. We're examples. We're examples of the benefits all around when you overcome prejudice. Let's give the country a chance to expand that experience to people with transgender. And as for the disruption, I filed a gay rights bill in 1972. I have filed and worked for anti-discrimination measures, sexual orientation, race, gender, ethnicity, disability. And I will address for those who say, well, you can't do, you got to do all at once. I've never done it all at once. As a matter of fact, for a long time, I have worked for legislation which protected other people, not me. I finally got old enough to benefit from age discrimination legislation. But every bill that I have ever been involved with where we try to ban discrimination has met the same argument. I got nothing against those people. They're okay, but it will be disruptive. I've heard that with regard to sexual orientation, with affirmative action. Certainly, I mean, with not race, leaving aside affirmative action, with ethnicity, with gender, with disability. People always say it's going to be disruptive, and it never is. I wish somebody who's got some time would go back and look at every anti-discrimination measure we've ever enacted and see the similarity of the arguments, and nobody goes,